Okay, welcome back. It's still family and values, and like we today is another beautiful Thursday, and like I gave a little update on what transpired between a mother, a newborn baby, and a mom, and the incidents. Now, while we were playing the mini feature, Joy also has something to say because I was like, God is so wonderful. And I don't know what causes jaundice. I don't want to start speaking for the doctors. But before the doctor, start this conversation with us, if you have experienced anything like this before now, I want you to also send in a message on the number on your screen. Let's see your view. You can call us or send in a message. So, Joy, you were saying something about
Yes, I
experiencing
experienced it when
jaundice.
yes, when I have baby.
Wow. Did you ever
Now
find out what happened?
I did because I was very inquisitive. What happened was, aside the fact that I had prolonged labor and in the process, I think they said they had taken a lot of liquid and it was fine. But one thing we noticed was the skin was changing the coloration, skin and then his eyes. And he was a very chubby baby. So the moment they noticed that, they told him that he has jaundice and that they need translation. But there was a very fast response to this. What they did was they had to put it through the like very blue light.
Yeah.
Yeah, radiation. It was radiation. Then they gave him like 16 rounds of antibiotics. I can never forget. So when you were saying about the nursing mother, I could imagine because it was really traumatic. It was a very traumatic experience. Now there are a lot of myths around Germany. They'll say, "Oh, you were what you were eating." So because
that's why I said, people should share their experience. It goes a long way. It goes a long way because one thing is for you to have, like I was saying yesterday, there is no way that you want to share anything and you don't have a glimpse or a little feel of how it happens or how it comes to be. And you now want to buy a more good job. So now we now going through that process as a newborn, how was it with you? I said, send me your view, as in, have you experienced anything like that before? If you have, send us a message on our text message line, on our studio line, or you give us a call. But I need to take this short break and I will be right back. So get ready with your calls. I'll be waiting. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's the Family and Values, and our doctor is right here with us as we continue this conversation. Jaundice in babies. What causes jaundice in babies? What causes? What are the symptoms? What should you do if you finally, after delivery, found yourself at home already, discharged from the hospital, and suddenly notice some signs? What are those signs? This and many more is what we'll be talking about today on Family and Values. And we have Dr. Adenyinka Joshua here with us this morning, and he just came back from saving a life. So God bless you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for
and
that privilege. Thank you.
Okay, he's a medical officer, so it's so good to have him fighting here. What is jaundice in babies? Because time, I want to manage it very well. Okay. And how does it really happen? She was sharing my experience before you got here. Some were saying too much water, you lack vitamins, you do not. So, in a nutshell, can you help us? What is jaundice in babies, and how can we really see those between the lines, those signs? How does it occur?
All right, thank you. Jaundice in baby is simply yellow discoloration that you on the sclera and on the mucous membrane and on the skin. So you find jaundice in three places majorly in the body: the skin, the sclera, this white part of the place of the eyeball is what we call the sclera. You see it yellow, and you see it in other membranes, maybe around the lips or some light tint skin areas of the body. You see it's yellow. So when we have this yellowness, this is what we call jaundice. So
How does
jaundice
it occur?
is, we have different types, but usually it's a normal condition that occurs in baby. And why is it normal? Now, when you deliver a baby, usually the first day of life, jaundice should not occur. When it occurs during the first day of life, that shows that there's an infection or there is a problem somewhere. Maybe from the mother, maybe the mother is draining fluid before delivery. There's an infection. So when there's an infection, the baby can have the jaundice on the first day of life. But the usual one should be around the second, third day of life. And why do we have jaundice? It is because red blood cells, the blood of the body, they are breaking down. Because the first few days of life, the child is detached from the mother. So there will be, because of the change of environment, there will be rapid breakdown of blood. So the byproduct of the breakdown of the blood is what causes the jaundice. Now, there's what we call bilirubin. This bilirubin gets elevated in the body of the baby because there is breakdown. Bilirubin is a byproduct of the breakdown of red blood cells because the red blood cells are breaking down, which will happen in the second or third day of life of the baby. So when it breaks down, the baby is small and is just trying to cope with life. The labor function is to conjugate this bilirubin to make it less yellow in the body. When it is conjugated,
I will just cut you short there because we need to go for this short break. It's very important and we'll be right back, please. So let's go for this short commercial. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Sorry to break the doctor at that point. We really need to follow and go through our time as it is. So doctor was trying to explain what brings about, I was asking how does it occur? So he was trying to explain to us how the process goes when babies, you see jaundice in babies. So doctor, over to you. Welcome back.
All right. Thank you very much. As I was saying before the break in transmission, the red blood cells in a younger baby, in a newborn baby, they break down because after the first day of life, because they have so many blood, they need to renew the blood. When the blood is breaking down, there is the byproduct of the blood cells would become accumulated in the body as a result of the fact that the liver cannot take care of it. The bilirubin content it's what causes the yellowness because they are not conjugated. There's a chemical reaction that goes on in the liver that helps to conjugate it to prevent it from going all around the body. So when it's about the second, third day of life, we have accumulated, what we call it, this bilirubin in the body. So because the liver cannot take care of it, it becomes accumulated because the baby is still newborn and it is normal. And with time it will reduce. So, and there are times it becomes so accumulated that the baby will be almost entirely yellow. You will see the yellowness all around. So you need attention, medical attention. As soon as you see traces of yellowness, go and they will commence phototherapy. They put the baby under blue light. So the blue light helps to remove the yellowness of the body and helps to reduce the jaundice on the baby's body. So it's a normal phenomenon. So it happens between second day of life. But when it happens in the first day of life, that's a sign that there's infection going on. Maybe during, maybe the mother had already broken the brain before coming to the hospital. Or there are other infections, maybe from a lot of things. You know, we do a lot of things during the process of childbirth that are not advised by the doctors. So those are the things that can cause jaundice, and that is how it happens in baby. And it shouldn't be greater than the first, which occurs during the first and second week of life. If it is beyond the second week of life, then you need to look out for the possible cause of jaundice.
So I love how you explain it, and then it gives me a clearer picture of what happened when I had my son. Just like this was the first day because the water had broken. I labored 14 hours before I went into the theater. So the moment he was born, they discovered that they gave him 16 hours of antibiotics.
There's a sign of infection.
2 weeks thereabout. But now, what are those early signs parents should look out for? Because I've had a similar case where my cousin, it was I think 3 days after childbirth, they discovered the jaundice. So what are those early signs, especially for a newborn, where everybody is jubilating? What are the signs parents should quickly look out for?
All right. Thank you. That's a beautiful question. Like I said, usually it's around the third day of life. So if it's around the third day of life, anytime around that second, third, fourth day of life, ensure you observe the baby under sunlight to see there will be yellowness. It will start from around the face. It will always start from the head to the toe. So check for when they smile sometimes or they cry, this place there's a way you start noticing yellowness around this place down to a tincture of yellowness in the sclera, like I said, in the white part of our eyeball called the sclera. You will notice it. As soon as you notice it, just go to the hospital. And before leaving the hospital, if you are there by the second, third day of life, they will also do what we call the bilirubin test. These serum bilirubin, the total and the direct bilirubin. You take the blood sample and check out. So when there is infection, infection can also cause it for babies. That is why they are giving your baby antibiotics then, because it happened the first day of life. There's an infection going on. Maybe they've done the full blood count and you realize that, there's a sign of infection. So when there's overwhelming infection for the baby, it also breaks down the red blood cell, increasing the bilirubin content in the baby's body. So that is what happens.
Okay, I want to find out, since apart from the yellow discoloration that mother or anyone around the baby should notice, there is no particular other, maybe running temperature, stooling, there is nothing like that, right?
All right. As regards that, now during the course of the delivery, if there is a transmission of infection to the child can be crying in the process of that. So let me be very careful. Jaundice, we have there's what we call physiological jaundice, that is a normal body phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And we have pathological, that is, it is caused by infection. Okay. So when it is caused by a normal phenomenon, the baby will not have fever. The baby will not hot. The baby will just be normal. Most times, the baby will not. But when it is as a result of maybe an ongoing infection, you look out for fever, the baby will be crying unnecessarily, crying. And there are complications to hyper, when it is too much in the body and it gets to the brain. Mm-hmm. To get to that, there's a complication. Maybe I should talk about
Please, that's where I'm actually going.
Okay.
That's where I want you to go.
That's bilirubin, because the baby is still few days old. There's what we call the blood-brain barrier. The blood-brain barrier has not integrated itself properly. Is not powerful enough to separate or to prevent the bilirubin from getting to the brain cells. And as soon as it gets to the brain cells, it's damaged the brain. And the baby's brain will be damaged for life. Wow. Neurological function, you just see the baby will be dull. The baby can have different kind of neurological disorder. So babies that are not taken to the hospital to receive treatment, if it gets to the brain, it damages the brain. The baby can have hearing loss, can have delayed developmental milestone. The baby will not be able to develop very well. The baby would have cognitive impairments. The baby will not be, the brain will not be able to function very well, in the sense that the baby will be dull. Academically, you just see the baby just not performing at optimum. So the brain will be destroyed. So that is why we cry out to people that they should ensure, as soon as you see the sign, go to the hospital. Some people, their child will be as yellow as which fruit is that?
Like this.
Yeah, like banana already before bringing to the hospital. They will tell the doctor they were giving a herbal concussion, and herbal concussion will add to that.
I actually hold on. I actually wanted to ask with my question before you went into, what are the what do you call it now? What are the likely complications? What of breastfeeding? Can it help at that time? Because when the child is going through that radiation, going under the blue light, will the baby still have to be brought up to be breastfed? How can breastfeeding help at this point in time? Because many people don't really say anything good about breastfeeding. Some just like. So how good can this also help situations like this on the baby?
All right. So we have different types of jaundice. can be caused by a lot of things. There's what we call breastfeeding jaundice. When
Wow.
a baby is not properly being breastfed,
Oh.
it can cause that. But the rationale behind the breastfeeding jaundice is not well understood.
Okay.
It's just so what I'll say about that is that when the baby is under the blue, you still need to breastfeed the baby. But as soon as you finish breastfeeding, the baby will
turn it back to the blue light.
Yeah, will be back to the light, under the light. So you feed the baby every time as necessary, but you will still keep the baby under the blue. So you properly breastfeed the baby.
Now, I want to ask two questions. We talked about treatment. Now, I know that there's many different treatments that's very different, but when we took, I'm talking from experience now, when we took baby back, we had to expose him to the early morning
sunlight, which can also be of help.
We did that for as long as we were satisfied.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful.
What are those common mistakes that parents make when they notice jaundice, and what are the myths behind jaundice? Because at the point they were saying maybe I ate banana and plantain too much, some say I took too much of okra. They didn't take all those things. Some said, oh, it's because you were sleeping one, and lots of things were going on. So what are those common myths that we should clear the air on jaundice? And what are those common mistakes? Like you said, concussion. Some people will not want to say, just take under the light after that to go, A lot of people.
How many people have that blue light at home?
Yeah. And that light, thanks to Julian's blue, it was free,
Yes, it's free.
I was using it. I was using it to but just, let's talk about treatment, major treatment, the myths behind jaundice, and the mistakes parents.
All right. So for jaundice, let me come with the common mistake parents make. As common myths people usually say about jaundice. I grew up knowing that they tell you not to wrap the baby with a yellow cloth.
Yeah.
That when you wrap the baby with the yellow cloth, that the baby of the eye will pick the color.
Yeah.
But you don't wrap the baby with any yellow. That's superstitious. Like I said the other time, there's no rationale behind any of these things they mentioned, that maybe you have eaten something, you have done this. The causes is a normal body physiology that the body is trying to cope with, because the organs are just learning to function properly. The liver, which will conjugate the bilirubin, which will cause the yellowness. So, and the second one is infection. When there's infection somewhere, or there are other conditions of the baby, as soon as they born the baby, that is leading to recurrent breakdown of the red blood cell, because it's a byproduct of the red blood cell. As we are now, our blood recycle every 120 days. We produce the life cycle of our red blood cell is 120 days. After that 120 days, they will be destroyed, and a new set would also come again. But the liver is capable, because they are adults. It has mastered that function. You get? So that is the basic reason why there's yellowness. So, and that condition is when you look at people that are sickle cell, because they break their red blood cell very fast. So their red blood cell, normal people is 120 days, but for sickle cell is 20 days. If they break it every 20 days, the liver will be overwhelmed. You see them having yellowness of the eye for those that. So I'm trying to emphasize to also explain the reason why there's yellowness. It's a byproduct of what? Of the blood. So it is not because you add certain things. If it could be any other thing, it will be infection or certain blood disorder that can result in yellowness of the eye. So eating anything yellow, or you do not do this, or you don't do that. Another aspect I explain is during the course of delivery, maybe there's prolonged labor, or the woman, there's already, there's what we call, just escape my mind. There's infection before delivering of the woman. So if the woman broke water, like you said, for a very long time, it exposes to avoid you call it chorioammonitis. Chorioammonitis is an infection that a woman would have when you break your water and you have not gone to the hospital. We try to avoid even putting our hands in order not to even introduce infection. Yes. So, and some people might start saying, don't worry, put this thing so that the child will come out on time, exposing the baby to infection. So that
Okay. Are there any common mistakes parents make in the process of trying to use? You mentioned something about home remedy that somebody gave them to use. What are these common mistakes parents make to round off this discussion?
All right, there are common mistakes. They use rub, menthol, camphor. I'm telling you life experience. These are the things. Camphor, these white. They will tell you when you pick it that whiteness will attract the yellowness. Some will use rub, menthol.
Is it magical?
So some of these things is not magical, but some of these things will contribute to the yellowness of the baby.
Oh my God!
So we believe certain things will start attracting, and because it's a normal condition, sometimes the condition might wear off spontaneously itself. So because they use some of those things, they might think it is because of what they have used that has cleared it. But for a baby that is not able to clear it on time will suffer more yellowness, and which will affect.
So apart from the brain misfunction or damage in the baby, if it is not immediately treated, is there any other complication that can actually cause more damage to the health of the baby? That's one. Two, in the process of trying to save a woman who is almost, the water broke already, that's when the infection comes in. Is there any way we can prevent? Because that's the only one I want us to talk on now, because that is what is also likely to cause jaundice. Is there any way? Because I've seen women on the road, their water broke, and people will have to clear the road, put clothes on the road, try to deliver. In case, I've also seen a woman that was rushed into a vehicle, to save her because her water broke. She was just on the road and the water broke. And so what can we do to avoid that infection? The moment you find a woman on the road or around you, the water broke and you want to rush her to the hospital, what should we do?
Okay. So to put more light on rupture, we call it premature rupture of bone. When you are not supposed to be in labor, or you are premature, when you say premature, it is before the day of delivery, it has already broken. So what happened is, if the breakage of the membrane happens for a longer period, greater than 8 hours, the person has to be in the hospital, and the person has to be given IV medication to know. So as soon as your water breaks, just go to the hospital. And if you think you are not 10 yet, or you are not expecting it anytime sooner, but greater than 8 hours, 8 to 12 hours thereabout, the infection will come. It is not that it is immediately.
It is not immediately. Okay.
It is not immediately. So when there's prolonged.
Mine was as a result of prolonged labor. And my water broke by 10 p.m. I was still not.
So the other question, doctor, because of our time, we have just 1 minute to get out of the studio.
Right.
Now, the other question I asked was, apart from the brain, is there any other complication that can affect the baby?
Okay.
If not properly treated or not treated on time.
The major one is the brain. Like I said, it affects the development.
Shati, bye-bye.
So the brain is the major one.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
God will continue to use your hands to do great things.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
And God will save yours too. Okay? When it's time for yours to be saved, God will raise people, great mind to save yours too. Thank you, doctor, for being here this morning. We've been talking with medical officer Adeniyi Joshua. I told you call him Ja or Aj. AJ. Double AJ. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you. Joy, over to you.
Thank you so much for being a part of the show this morning. I shared my own experience. It wasn't fun. So if you belong to those class of people that want to see Jaundice, you start saying, please stop. Go to the hospital. It's very important.
Don't use camphor.
Don't use anything. Let's stop giving things to what we know nothing about, please. That's why we have the primary health care around us. It's the first place you should go to. Thank you for being part of the champions. Joy. I'll see you tomorrow.
Sorry we couldn't take your calls because we really wanted to concentrate on this delivery, and thank God we're able to do that. And tomorrow is going to be another wonderful time with the youth again. Youth, where are you? Okay, tomorrow we're looking at courtship and duration. How long do you think courtship should be? Yeah, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, 12 years? Let's hear your view tomorrow. And I'm going to open the phone lines tomorrow. I promise I'm going to do that. So I want you to share your experience, why you think it should be that time. And if you have, any other suggestion, just let's talk tomorrow by the grace of God. I still remain Olori Adejoke and be David up to see you tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who helped make today's production a success, as supervising producer, and also to all our camera crew, the MCR, everyone, our editor. Thank you, Rebami. Welcome back, and we love all of you. And to our president, it's so good to have this program being anchored by us. Thank you for the honor. See you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.